After months of slow or non existent advances, the battle hardened forces of the Russian Federation have broken through Ukrainian defenses in the east of the Ukrainian country in two locations, advancing over 10 kilometers in what military analysts are calling one of the most significant breakthroughs in months. We haven't seen a rapid advance like this since the start of the year, pretty much. According to widely cited reports, including from the Institute for the Study of War, which is a Western American analysis outfit, Russian troops have seized 9 settlements in eastern Ukraine just in the last few days, working to encircle the two settlements of Konstantinivka and Pokrovsk. The road and the surrounding area taken by Russia is a lifeline, or was a lifeline, for the Ukrainian forces defending Pokrovsk, especially. I've been talking about Pokrovsk for months, to be honest. And Pokrovsk, it is itself a strategic hub that's been in Russia's crosshairs for over a year, on its wish list, as it were, but not worth, according to the current Russian administration, not worth the lives and the equipment that would be lost, the blood and treasure, as it's poetically called sometimes, that would need to be expended in a aggressive advance by the Russian forces to take it. But now it looks to be more surrounded than it was before, at least. Well defended, it has to be said, Pokrovsk is and was these last few months. But the struggling defenders of the Ukrainian army are becoming more and more desperate as their hopes dwindle. They have managed to hold Russia off by promising to exact a very high price for any advance on Pokrovsk, any assault, which has kept Russia at bay, that threat of an expensive assault. Now, the breakthrough that I just mentioned was achieved by small groups of Russian fighters infiltrating weak points, overwhelming defenders through sheer numbers on sides that they did not expect an assault from, rather than brute force firepower from the front. Think of yourself and your mates in a nice, tidy wall of shields facing your enemy, braced, you're ready for them to hit you, and then you turn your head to, scratch your nose, because I keep scratching my nose. I'll use it as a demonstration. Animation budget solved. I'll be like, and then you spot your enemy right there on your side where your shield is not, or worse, behind you. Like, what's going on there? How did they get there? Shields only work one way after all. So those Russian forces behind the Ukrainian front line are going to make mincemeat out of the defense. And that's basically what happened. That's what allowed this breakthrough tactic to work. Ukrainian commanders themselves admit they're facing a personnel shortage. They've been saying that for over a year now, with some positions held by just a few handful of soldiers reinforced with drones. That's the news. Now you can head off, or you can stick around for the brief analysis. And I mean brief. I'm trying to get more succinct with my posts. So the analysis is this. The timing of this breakthrough isn't coincidental. These Russian forces that infiltrated and facilitated the breakthrough did so just 3 days before Putin enters Friday's negotiations with Trump. And Russia holding new territory means Putin can position himself to demand more concessions as Russia's hand is strengthened by this latest development. So he likely had those Russian forces in place before and chose, it's time to cash in. Let's see if we can get this sorted. Let's see if we can make a breakthrough before Friday so that our hand of cards is strengthened. 10 kilometers deep is pretty damn deep. And the next few days will be important to see if Ukraine can somehow push Russia back, or if this new frontline jump is stable and actually more detrimental to Ukraine in the weeks, the days and the weeks and the months to come. As the Ukrainian President Zelensky himself warned, as I shared in my last post before this one on the Russia-Ukraine conflict, Putin isn't preparing for ceasefire talks. He's preparing for a larger offensive, so he can have his finger on the trigger, ready to fire if needed. And that threat strengthens in his hand. He doesn't actually have to press the button for it to be of any utility to him. Now, this breakthrough might just give him the bargaining chips he needs in Alaska. He can tell Trump, we hold the advantage, we hold the resource-rich southern oblast, let us, you and me, make economic deal. American companies, Ukrainian, now Russia, resources. It's a match made in heaven, right? Putin might just say, bring your American companies to invest, giving, Trump the economic transactional, giving this transactional president the transaction he wants. And then he says, let's secure peace, right? You get your Nobel Peace Prize, we get our peace in the east of Europe. And Trump might just bite. Speaking of biting, Zelensky and Western Europe will be biting their nails in that sort of Tom and Jerry style. When they're really nervous, they start doing that. Because if America signs a deal with Russia, which is possible, right? It's geopolitically possible. America's lost its superpower status, is very transactional now. It just wants to do what it thinks is good for America. America first, after all, right? If they sign a deal with Russia, Ukraine may be strong armed into a peace deal. And that would potentially lead to the loss of NATO ambitions forever for Ukraine, loss of southern oblasts forever potentially to Russia. Donetsk, Luhansk, Zaporizhia, Kherson, maybe recognition of Crimea as well. Something that geostrategically is reasonable as a starting point for negotiations. It's reasonable for Russia to demand that because Russia holds the advantage. But is not reasonable currently to the Ukrainian administration because, of course, the West keeps pushing Zelensky to keep fighting, keeps dangling Western European, especially Western European support in front of Zelensky, saying, keep fighting, we got your back, bro. So we'll just have to see how this goes moving forward. And for the unbiased news and analysis without the Western spin, I'm Mahfouz, and I'll see you on the next one.